It's my pleasure to welcome you to this interaction. I'm Dr. Peter Ogudoro, and the reason why I'm reaching out to you is because from time to time, given the nature of what I do, people ask a question. Uh, where are you coming from? What do you do? How did you get to where you are? What can we learn from you to improve our own lives? Yes, indeed. I come from very humble beginnings in a rural community in Nigeria. And somehow I fell in love with books early in my life, and books have taught me quite a lot. And as a result of the things I've learned from books, I have come to know that resilience is the way to go, and that we won't all be lucky to come from affluent families where there will always be enough money for us to do what we want to do at the time we want to do it. But what we know, especially myself, what I know from experience, is that where there is a will, indeed, there will be a way. And so I come from a background where, yes, my parents, placed great value on education, and they invested heavily in it to help me to go through primary school and secondary school in rural settings. And my secondary school was in a place very close to town, but not really in the metropolis, where I got what you might call good education at that point in time. In a public school, unlike what you find today, where most young people are having access to private schools. I didn't have that kind of privilege. And of course, my parents couldn't give me education beyond secondary school, but they had done the best they were capable of doing, and recognizing that, yes, education can be very empowering. I've been learned quite a lot, reading books like, Julius Caesar, which introduced me to leadership and how we should think more about others and not just ourselves. And I remember a verse in Julius Caesar which talks about what concerns us ourselves should be last treated. And that has, governed my thinking for a very long time up till now. And then I have moved on to read several other fantastic books, including the excellent book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I got, I had the privilege to read that book very early in my life, and that was before I was 20, and it has made a world of difference. It helped me to understand that when poverty is replaced by riches, by progress, most of the time it doesn't happen by chance. It's because somebody sat and came up with a plan, and of course implemented the plan resolutely, making necessary adjustments and seeking help from wherever help can come from. And that's the kind of attitude I have had, over the years. And that has brought me to where I am, where today I lead the Nigerian teachers community, a community of about 500,000 members who come from diverse countries. There's hardly any country in the world where we don't have, a representative, a member who is using classrooms to transform lives. I also have had the privilege to study diverse things, so I have a very versatile academic and professional background. I studied political science, education and guidance and counseling at undergraduate level. I had the opportunity to study human resources management at a master's level and taking a business degree, master's in that, and then moved on from Nigeria to the United Kingdom, where I had another opportunity to do a fresh master's degree in communication for innovation and development. And after a while, I returned to school again at the University of Reading, the United Kingdom, to also do doctoral research, which enabled me to also earn a PhD in education with emphasis on career management, product and innovation diffusion, and as well as, of course, what you might call attitude change. So I have acquired special skills on how to help people to work on the attitude, how to empower organizations and governments to work with individuals, people who work in employment settings and citizens to look at life with a fresh lens and then appreciate the need for everyone to make appropriate contributions to the development of society rather than sitting down there waiting for political leaders and managers of organizations to provide all the resources that everybody will need. So when I come into systems, I help the leaders to put in place appropriate mechanisms that will get everybody to work together so that we can realize our maximum potentials as systems, as corporate entities, as groups. And that is what is helping me to also lead the Nigerian teachers community, which has grown significantly attracting international awards. We earned the Facebook Community Accelerator Award in 2021, and of course, also got recognized recently by British Council, which has said thank you to us via a very important ceremony they held in Lagos at Eco, hotel, which has become something I very much cherish. So that's where I'm coming from. I was in the public sector for a while. I served the then National Electric Power Authority in Nigeria for about 10 years. I have been a public servant. And while I was there, I also, via part-time studies, took professional certification in personnel management, and that's how I come today. I'm a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management in Nigeria. And I belong to several other professional bodies around the world, including Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, Nigerian Institute of Management, Chartered Institute of Personnel Development in the UK, Public Relations Society in the United States of America, and Chartered Institute of Public Relations in the United Kingdom, and several other professional associations around the world. And the interactions I have had over the years with these professional bodies and the training I have received at the business school in Nigeria, and of course at Henley Business School in the United Kingdom, University of Reading, the wider University of Reading, Cambridge University, where I also went for a fellowship program, and moving on to several other countries, including Austria, Norway, Sweden, and recently, even Finland. All of those opportunities I've had have made it possible for me to develop the kind of skills that are enabling me to make the difference I'm making in the spaces where I work, and developing international networks that are helping me to use my social capital as platforms that enable the people I serve to get the best things of life. And so I'm hoping that with this introduction, you now know where I'm coming from. And so at that place I'm coming from is, especially in terms of the very starting point, it's not a place where the average person wants to start from. But if you're willing to start from wherever you are, you will discover that if you remain resilient and making necessary adjustments and taking full advantage of the opportunities you find along the way, you will go as far as possible in the world, and your place will be adequately filled, and you will be able to make very significant contribution to the development of the world we live in, to a point where you can say that indeed you have left your footprint on the sands of time. And even when you pass on, you will not be forgotten in a hurry. And so I encourage you to step out with your skills and the knowledge that you have now, and then go and ask for help wherever you can find help. And as you see opportunities, make the best use of them. And never allow anybody to discourage you, because along the way, you're going to find so many people who are going to tell you that some of the things you want to do are impossible to do, given the country you come from, the family you come from, your level of education, the people you do not know and the people you know, and several other constraints. But I tell you from experience that if you remain resilient and focused and are willing to make necessary adjustments and flexible as you move towards your destination, you will eventually get there, and you will be remembered for it. Thank you for asking that question, where you're coming from. I hope I've been able to answer it.